Hey, what's up guys? It's Marv and welcome back to another Asphalt 9 video. Today I have for you the ultimate guide to tilt to steer in Asphalt 9. So whether you're looking to switch from touch drive to manual drive, or you're looking for some tips and tricks on how to improve your driving in tilt to steer, I'm here to show you guys some tips and tricks that I've compiled over my experience of using tilt to steer in Asphalt and other games. So this first tip might seem a little bit weird, but just hear me out for a sec, and that is to look where you want to go. So when people learn how to drive in real life, one of the best pieces of advice I've heard is to look where you want to go. Now, this means don't look directly in front of you or way too ahead of you. Now, if you do look right where you want to go, then your hand-eye coordination is going to help you guide the vehicle or whatever you're driving to exactly where you're looking. It's sort of an instinctual thing that takes over, and you sort of lock your eyes and your hands, and it'll help you drive your vehicle towards that direction of where you want to go. If you look just ahead of the car, then you won't have a good sense of direction because you won't be focused on corners or jumps like in Asphalt 9 that you need to hit. And on the other hand, if you look at the scenery or way too far ahead of your car, then you're not going to have a good sense of space between your car and the walls and different ramps, let's say, in Asphalt 9. So again, look where you want to go, and this is going to help you know what trajectory you need to follow in order to get there, as well as any of the obstacles that are in your way. Now, regarding tilt to steer in Asphalt 9 and looking where you want to go, one of the options in Asphalt 9 settings is horizon tilt. Now, here on screen, you can see what it's like when you have it on or off. When you have it on, basically it shifts the camera around depending on whether or not you're steering right or left. In my opinion, when you have horizon tilt on, tracking where you want to go becomes a lot harder since the camera is constantly tilting back and forth. Of course, this is going to be personal preference, and a lot of people are really good and they've had horizon tilt on forever, but it all just depends on what you want to do. In my opinion, horizon tilt on, that just makes it much more distracting and harder to track where I want to see my car go, so I usually leave it off. So my next tip is to treat your device like a steering wheel. Now, sometimes when people start getting into tilt to steer, whether it's Asphalt or Need for Speed or whatever it is, I see people tilt their device like they're on a balance board. So instead of going, shifting their right hand up and their left hand down in terms of vertical movement, they're going to do it horizontally, like they're sort of balancing something on a flat board. Now, in my opinion, that's not very intuitive. And it's also not very ergonomic for your hands. If you think about your device like it's a steering wheel, to some people it might feel way more intuitive. So that's kind of what I like to describe tilt to steer as, because it makes it a lot more obvious what you're doing and how the car should react to your movement. My next tip is to just practice. Now, practice doesn't make perfect, it makes consistent. So don't just play a bunch casually so you can get used to sensitivity. That might work in the short term and it'll get you used to your sensitivity, but actually look on YouTube for things like best routes, what cars to use, and all that sort of thing. Because when you race, think about what track you are on, the car you're racing, your sensitivity, and the best routes. Overall, putting all those things together, that's going to help you a lot with getting the best times and, of course, progressing faster in Asphalt 9. Once you get used to thinking about all these different things while driving, doing all of this is going to become second nature. The reason why I say this is because all of these factors are very important, and in fact just as important as your sensitivity and whether or not you're used to it or not. Because obviously, if you're driving something like a Koenigsegg Jesko versus driving something like the F12 TDF, those cars have very different handling profiles, and so if all you're trying to do is just get used to the sensitivity with one car, you're going to get thrown off when you use another car. So you have to keep in mind all of those different factors when you're driving so you can make the best decisions on how far you have to tilt and when you should start tilting and all that sort of stuff. And again, over time, once you factor in all those factors, it's going to become second nature to you, but you have to start thinking about that when you're driving. My next tip is to make sure your sensitivity is correct. And so whether or not you're used to this sensitivity is up to you, and everyone is unique. Some people may prefer a higher sensitivity or a lower sensitivity. Now, in my opinion and experience, a higher sensitivity in Asphalt 9 is better because you can make sharp turns and change directions much easily, or much more easily, and with providing less effort than you would if you had a very low sensitivity. This is going to allow you to have sharper reflexes when you see a sharp corner coming up, or if someone cuts you off, you can easily change direction. You don't have to shift your hands a lot. And so in my opinion, a high sensitivity is a bit better for Asphalt 9. Now for my sensitivity, I use 86, and I felt like it was a good balance between being able to react fast and also having a good sense of precision when driving my car. So just as, talking general about tilt controls, I've been playing with tilt controls for about 12 years, all the way back when I played my first Wii racing game, and obviously that used the Wiimote, so you had to use tilt controls. Getting used to tilt controls and making it feel natural may take a lot of different times for a lot of different people. Even though I've been playing with tilt controls for a very long time, I was really bad at playing tilt controls with Asphalt 9 at the beginning of the game because of how different it was compared to other racing games. So you have to keep that in mind. The amount of time with tilt controls does not always equal how good you are using tilt controls. In fact, in many of my videos, and probably even in this video, you'll see me mess up a corner, you'll see me mess up a jump, and it's all because of just everyone has varying degrees of getting used to tilt controls. In terms of Asphalt 9, over time, I learned to practice the different routes. I got used to how each of the different cars handles and how the game feels in general, and all those factors can sometimes be more important, like I said, than getting used to tilt controls in general. So I hope some of these tips and tricks helped you become a better driver in tilt to steer. Now, of course, I do want to mention that tilt to steer isn't necessarily the best control method. In my opinion, it's best for me because when I play, I use my two thumbs. I don't use claw grip on my phone. And so I like tilt to steer because it allows me to have my thumbs only focus on drifting in nitro instead of also steering at the same time. So it lets the controls be diversified over, I guess my hands, instead of having my thumbs control everything, which in my opinion makes it easier to steer. And also, like I mentioned, I've been playing tilt controls for about 12 years now, so it was just natural to me when I started playing Asphalt 9. But of course, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys later.